He might not remember.
Well,
I
when
don't know.
Dad,
I don't remember for sure what
when
happened
Dad
with that.
wasn't home, I'd send Mike. He'd go get the cows, you know.
Mike could go get the cows if
But
nobody
Dad
was
didn't like
home.
the cows ran. You're going to milk them, you know. They because Mike was a dog, and but I could tell him to go get the cows, and he'd go get them. But he'd bite them. You know, they'd balk on him, so he'd bite him in the legs. Well, they'd kick him, try to, but he'd bring them home really fast. And then, and Dad could tell when I milked how much milk I got, whether they'd ran or not, you
Oh yeah.
know.
He would lay down in the gate if we were gone. He would bring the cows in. We don't know how fast he brought them in, but he probably brought them in fast.
The dog?
Yeah,
Yeah, oh
yeah,
yeah.
the dog. He would go get them when we were gone,
Yeah,
and we
yeah,
get home. I mean, it could be
yeah,
9 o'clock at night.
yeah.
We get home, and he'd still be laying out there in the gate. The
Yeah.
cows were not coming out of the corral.
No, that he put them away. But Dad was sitting there milking his cows in the winter. It was cold, and the chickens had all come in at night anyway. You know, it wasn't that cold, I guess, yet then. And the chickens were coming in, and this pigeon came in with the chickens, and he was a little chilly, so he got up on that board with the chickens. So Dad, about the second or third night, Dad's milking, and Dad always sang when he milked, and he'd be singing, and this pigeon started cooing over there and going around and around. So he went over there and looked at him and went in, and next day, I think it was the next day, Dad was milking and singing, and the bird landed on his shoulder, and it got to cooing, going round and round, and Dad's singing, and the pigeon's cooing. And anyway, that pigeon, we had him there around out there well, he was all in the chickens all the time, you know. Well, he got friendly, I mean, really friendly, and you could just go pick him up anywhere, you know. Well, then I was still playing with little toys, so I don't know how old I was. So anyway, on the north side of the house, or I'd dig dirt down there, you know. Well, the pigeon then got to be my buddy, and he was there. If I was digging, he was there, and he'd coo and go on around there. Well, one day there was a guy came selling pots and pans, and he drove up out by where we always parked, and he gets out, and he has hands full of these pans, going to bring them up, try to sell them to my mom, and this pigeon landed on his head, and boy, it upset him for a little while. Well, anyway, this pigeon gets, it wound up one time, it was really cold, and Mom wouldn't let that pigeon in the house. He wanted to get in the house, but wouldn't let him in. So it was so cold, Dad, I think, opened the door, went in the house, and that pigeon flew in, and he landed on the stovepipe and burnt his feet real bad. And so Mom had to get the pigeon down, and he didn't run away. I mean, she fixed him up, put salve on him, and she had to wrap his feet, and he got to stay in the house that night. And anyway, then the rest of the time he was out there. Well, he stayed. There'd be pigeons come every year, and he would fly with them and stuff, never leave. And I must have had that pigeon 5, 6 years. I had him a long time.